All right, good afternoon, everybody. A few things off the top. As you probably already know from other reporting, the National Weather Service is saying that the storm has tracked further east. So, at least at the moment, effects expected can be a little bit less than previously predicted, although the pace of the storm is even slower than they've predicted. So, we can imagine that some of these effects will last now through Wednesday rather than ending on Tuesday as originally reported. The other thing that we can't continue to be sure of, obviously, is tracking of the storm. Well, it's gone east. It could wobble back west or wobble further east. All those things will decide what impact it has, especially in our coastal areas. We still believe the greatest impact will be in Cape May, Atlantic, and Ocean counties. Current rain forecast is now likely about an inch or less along the coastal counties. Again, that could change depending on the track of the storm. But the wind effects still seem to be about the same and could worsen. When it gets out over open water, it could increase back up to hurricane level. And so the National Weather Service is very reluctant to change their estimates at the moment for this to be a moderate to major flooding incident in those three counties. We're hoping that it'll continue to track east and that it won't elevate to the hurricane level. But again, our mode right now is sort of a wait and watch mode on watching the tracking of the storm. That will, more than most storms, really determine for us what the impact will be on the people of New Jersey and the rest of the region as it heads further north. We'll have some ocean and back bay flooding. It's expected to be moderate. The Delaware Bay, we expect it to be minor to moderate flooding. 1 to 3 feet of water on the ground or in the streets in normally dry areas. The beaches are the place where we'll have the biggest long-term effect because of the wind gusts and the storm surge. We expect to see some significant beach erosion and some really dangerous rip currents. So obviously, even though the weather is really nice outside at the moment and is nice at many parts of the Jersey Shore right now, urge people to be careful, listen to your lifeguards and municipal officials about being in the ocean or not, because rip currents are going to get fairly aggressive even before you see any other type of outward manifestations of the storm. I've seen some reporting. I want to make this clear. This is certainly not Sandy, nowhere near that. And it's not even Jonas. Sandy had major flooding up and down the entire New Jersey coast and inland. Jonas had major flooding in Cape May County. The current models are showing, moderate flooding at worst. And so I want everybody to remain calm about that. I've seen some reporting about, comparing this somehow to Sandy levels. This is not even close to what we're talking about there. And I think it's getting less so as we've been moving over the last 24 to 36 hours. So everybody should remain calm in that regard. DEP and the DEP Commissioner is right now in South Jersey, along with the Lieutenant Governor, visiting Cape May, Atlantic, and Ocean counties. And they'll bring this information directly to the emergency operations centers there. Emergency operations centers are open in those three counties. Sheltering is arranged if necessary. Homeland Security and Preparedness has put together commodities and staged them. I want to be clear about why I signed the Declaration of Emergency. Because it's a holiday weekend, it would be more difficult to get National Guardsmen and women in without the Declaration of Emergency, because in this weekend they wouldn't be staffed nearly as high as they normally are on a normal weekend. And so the signing of the Declaration of Emergency was to give me the maximum amount of flexibility to respond to the storm as would be needed. I hope not to be able to have to use the assets, but it would be much too late if the storm started to track west for me to declare an emergency then and try in difficult weather to get guardsmen and women in and assets deployed. And so the Declaration of Emergency is more about preparedness than it is anything else, and giving me, as the person in charge, the maximum flexibility to be able to do what needs to be done. D.O.T. is on the job, watching not only our mass transit systems but our roadways. There seems to be no problems at this moment, and quite frankly, for the major roadways in the state, we don't anticipate problems based upon the current tracking. I have, with me not only the Colonel of State Police, obviously, Head of Homeland Security and Preparedness, General Kniff of the National Guard, Attorney General Perino as well. all of them have been on the phones with me working over the last 36 hours to make sure we are prepared. This is a drill we obviously have gone through a number of times before. And so having experienced people who have been through this before makes it a lot easier to deal with some of these issues. What I'd say to folks is, please keep an eye and an ear on your local news broadcasts, who will continue to update you, and we will continue to update if circumstances change. If they do, we may want people to leave the barrier islands. I'm not ordering an evacuation at this time. I don't think it's necessary to, but we're going to continue to be in touch with Cape May, Atlantic and Ocean County emergency operations centers specifically to get reports on the ground there to determine whether or not we need to take any type of steps to evacuate. But right now, we don't see any need for that, but we're going to keep an eye on it. I will have another call this evening at 6 o'clock with the National Weather Service and the entire emergency operations team at the state level to get briefed. And if there's some new developments out of that 6 o'clock call tonight, we will certainly advise all of you immediately as to any change in plans. But right now, our view is we're prepared if things wobble west, which we hope they don't. If it increases to a hurricane from a tropical storm, we'll be prepared for that as well. But I'm hoping that it continues to track east as it has been for the last 12 to 18 hours, and that that continued east track makes both the wind situation better for us and the water situation obviously better for us. So we're prepared to go. I want to thank the National Guardsmen and women, the members of the State Police Emergency Operations, for being here, being on call, as is the rest of the cabinet who's been working out of the Regional Operations Center down at the State Police Headquarters. So we're on the job, and we're watching how things are going. I'll be here and for the rest of the day and tomorrow, and we'll just continue to monitor the situation and try to keep you as well advised as possible. The biggest thing today is for people not to be lulled by the nice weather that nothing's going to happen. Something's going to happen. And please be careful today about going in the ocean, the rip currents and everything. We don't want to see people have injuries or loss of life because of going into the ocean in dangerous conditions. I appreciate the hard work of all the people standing behind me and the folks who are here from the National Guard. I wanted to come to this armory this morning to emphasize to people that these are National Guardsmen and women who have come in from their holiday weekend with their families to be here and be ready to serve and protect the people of the state in case of an emergency. And we need to continue to be really grateful for their service to all of us and to all the people of the state, not only when they're actually performing that service of saving, but also just by being here and leaving their families during this weekend to be able to be here and be on the ready in case we need to deploy them around the state. So to General Kniff and the men and women of the New Jersey National Guard, we appreciate that very much. And we'll be back in touch with you when we have more to report. Thank you all for coming this afternoon. Appreciate it.